Hi there, everybody. Michael Valenti here from the School of Self-Defense in Noblesville, Indiana. I have a real simple question for you. Do you suck at takedowns, or do you just wish your takedown game, your throwing game was better? Are you someone who's afraid to grapple with somebody who does judo, or maybe you just wish your judo was better? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be discussing a concept that will revolutionize the way you approach the study of takedowns and will greatly improve your throw game overall. So let's get into it.
The art of fighting without fighting? Show me some of it.
One of the most fascinating aspects of studying other cultures is how vocabulary shapes thought. The classic example is how the Inuit have many words for snow, different terms for hard snow, soft snow, wet snow, dry snow, sticky snow, and so on. This vocabulary helps them immediately recognize subtle variations in their environment and act accordingly. To us, it's all just snow because we only have one word for it. In the same way, the language we use to describe martial arts changes how we practice and understand them. How we think and talk about martial arts greatly affect our ability to express them physically. In other words, a shallow way of discussing an art leads to a shallow way of thinking about it and ultimately a shallow practice. Conversely, a sophisticated vocabulary produces a deeper understanding and a more refined expression of the art. So I'm a 4th degree black belt in Judo and a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. These arts are similar, yet even a casual martial arts enthusiast knows the stereotype. Judo practitioners excel at throws, while BJJ practitioners excel at submissions. Many factors contribute to this, but vocabulary plays a surprisingly large role. In Judo, the language of throwing is very refined. For example, there are distinct names for different types of hip tosses, depending on whether your arm wraps around your opponent's waist, around their neck, grabs their belt, grabs their lapel. In most BJJ schools, by contrast, everything is just called hip toss. The result? Judo students tend to excel at hip throws, while BJJ students struggle with them and eventually stop using them altogether. On the flip side, BJJ has a rich vocabulary for submissions. There are unique terms for bent arm locks depending on the position and angle of the arm and the body and entanglement of the arms. There's Americana, there's Kimura, and others. Most judo schools, however, use a single term, ude-garame. Consequently, BJJ schools produce exceptional submission artists, while many judo practitioners tend to stall on the ground and wait for the referee just to stand them up. Back in the 2010s, I had the honor of getting to train with one of America's greatest judo instructors, Sensei Phil Porter. Playing off this idea of vocabulary shaping an art, he expressed an idea that he felt would revolutionize the way we teach and practice judo. And it was a simple shift in the way we discuss our throws. Typically in judo, takedowns are categorized into 5 groups. They have teiwaza, which are hand techniques, ashiwaza, your foot techniques, koshiwaza, your hip throws, masutemiwaza, which are sacrifice throws to your back, and yokusutemiwaza, which are sacrifice throws to the side. Phil Porter believed that most throws could be further classified in 2 ways: rollers and drivers. A roller is a throw in which an opponent is rotated in a circular motion towards the ground, typically rolling over your leg or your hip or your shoulder. Examples would be like a hip toss, the rotary throw, or the haragoshi, the sweeping hip throw. A driver, on the other hand, involves planting a power leg and driving from that post to complete the throw, like in the classic taitoshi or kosotogari, the minor outside reap. Porter's idea was that nearly all throws could be understood through this lens, and that exploring these distinctions could supercharge a grappler's throwing system. Take Morote Gari, for example, the double leg takedown. While you do drive your shoulder to complete it, the true kake, the finishing mechanic, comes from your hands scooping behind your opponent's calves, making it a roller. However, a freestyle variation may involve turning to one side, setting your opposite leg as a post, and driving through your shoulder to the side, making it a driver. And of course, the classic blast double, that would be a driver. This shows that there isn't just one kind of double leg takedown. There are several, each defined by how power is generated. Now, let's look at Osotogari, the major outside reap. The classic version involves stepping to one side of your opponent and slightly bending them backwards to off-balance them towards their heels, then sweeping their near leg to complete the throw. This results in a roller style throw. But one of the most commonly used Osotogaris in the Olympics is what they call the far side Osotogari. In this version, you reach your leg across your opponent's center line while facing 90 degrees to them, hooking their far side leg and driving through your planted foot. Now that's a driver style throw. Again, there isn't just one Osotogari. There are multiple, shaped by the means of power generation. So, where does the grappler benefit from this new way of thinking? Phil Porter's rollers and drivers concept was meant to deepen the sophistication of how we understand takedowns. A more nuanced vocabulary leads to a more nuanced questioning. Questions such as, why would I use a driver instead of a roller? What condition calls for one versus the other? Just by asking these kinds of questions, you will naturally be led to a deeper understanding and higher level execution of the art. Without that vocabulary, you might not even realize those questions exist. If you're unaware of the distinction between rollers and drivers, you might unknowingly be using the wrong kind of power generation for a given throw. Maybe you think you suck at the shoulder throw, but in reality, you're using a driver style version when what's needed is a roller style one. Without knowing the differences, it's much harder to diagnose and fix the problem. Of course, I'd love to teach this concept in a much deeper and more nuanced way to people one-on-one or in my group classes, but I'm one man. I live in Noblesville, Indiana. So if you live in the Indianapolis area and you'd like to come train with me, all the information to get started on that is at our website, theschoolofselfdefense.com. And if you live too far away to train with me in person, we do have online training available through our website, kenpo360.com. And then finally, I do actually have a book out that is the entire first belt of Kenpo 360. It's the fundamentals of self-defense. You can buy it now on Amazon. It's called Kenpo 360, The Beginner's Guide to Self-Defense, written by Michael Valenti. So just type that into your Amazon search bar and look us up and buy that book. Now, of course, if you made it to the end of this video, you clearly are enjoying yourself and you have been entertained. So why don't you drop a like and subscribe? YouTube right now is trying this new hype thing. So if you're given the opportunity, give me hype. I don't know what that is yet, but apparently hype is good. So hype this video, thumbs up this video, subscribe, hit the bell. YouTube is having you guys do way too much stuff, but just do all of it if you can. It really helps the channel grow. We're a very small channel, and we can't grow without your help. Leave a comment below. I'll give you a prompt. What's a comment that you could leave? Yes, I want you to comment if you're a martial artist of a takedown that you think that you could do as a roller or as a driver. So give me your examples of rollers and drivers. So until next time, everybody, I'm Michael Valenti with the School of Self-Defense. Fight on.